The hunt. Human beings tend to be so caught in the excitement of a hunt that they tend to eclipse out the value of life itself, both of human beings and of animals. Let us read the story that describes a day in the life of some horses that is far more humane than the attitude of human beings in the story.
The other colts and I were feeding at the lower part of the field when we heard, quite in the distance, what sounded like the cry of dogs.
They are the hounds.
My mother and an old riding horse of our master's were also standing near and seemed to know all about it. They have found a hare, and if they come this way, we shall see the hunt. And soon the dogs were all tearing down the field of young wheat next to ours. After them came a number of men on horseback, some of them in green coats, all galloping as fast as they could.
They have lost the scent. Perhaps the hare will get off.
What hare?
Oh, I don't know what hare. Any hare they can find will do for the dogs and men to run after.
Before long, back they came all together at full speed, making straight for our meadow, at the part where the high bank and hedge overhang the brook. Now we shall see the hare. I was so astonished that I did not at first see what was going on by the brook. But when I did look, there was a sad sight. Two fine horses were down. One was struggling in the stream, and the other was drowning on the grass. One of the riders was getting out of the water covered with mud. The other lay quite still. His neck broke.
And serves him right, too.
Well, nay, you must not say that. But though I am an old horse, and I have seen and heard a great deal, I never yet could make out why men are so fond of this sport. They often hurt themselves, often spoil good horses, and tear up the fields, and all for a hare, or a fox, or a stag, that they could get more easily some other way. But we are only horses and don't know. My master raised the young man. His head fell back and his arms hung down, and everyone looked very serious. They carried him to our master's house. I heard afterward that it was young George Jordan, the squire's only son, a fine, tall young man, and the pride of his family. When Mr. Bond, the farrier, came to look at the black horse that lay groaning on the grass, he felt him all over and shook his head. One of his legs was broken. Then someone ran to our master's house and came back with a gun. Presently, there was a loud bang and a dreadful shriek, and then all was still. The black horse moved no more. My mother seemed much troubled. She said she had known that horse for years and that his name was Rob Roy. He was a good horse and there was no vice in him. She never would go to that part of the field afterward. Not many days after, we heard the church bell tolling for a long time. Looking over the gate, we saw a long, strange black coach that was covered with black cloth and was drawn by black horses. After that came another and another and another, and all were black. While the bell kept tolling, they were carrying young Jordan to the churchyard to bury him. He would never ride again. What they did with Rob Roy, I never knew. But 'twas all for one little hare.